Hey everyone, welcome back to Pages and Perspectives. Today's episode, I want to talk about business. I want to talk about professionalism. I want to talk about communication and organization and time management and prioritizing. All of these things have to do when it comes to business. I mean, I haven't owned many businesses here in Orlando, but I do have a degree in it. I did take classes. I've had a lot of trial and error. I feel like real business owners know what they know because of trial and error. How can you know what success is if you haven't seen failure? So I myself had taken some losses, as I'm sure a lot of successful business people have. So I want to go into organization when it comes to having a business. So first of all, it depends on what your business is. Some people do products, some people do services. Number one thing with your business is communication, transparency, and honesty. I feel like a lot of people, they don't intentionally do things to upset a client or to upset someone, but because of the lack of communication, it makes it a lot worse. I've learned that in my experience as well. I'm ducking and dodging and I don't really want to say anything because I don't have any information. I don't know what to tell you. So it's fair to say that, okay, wait, maybe I need to avoid this person for a moment and try to figure out what the answer is. Well, I know that's not the answer. I know that that's the wrong way to move about it. Simply responding and saying, let me find out more. Let me research more. I will get back more information once I have it. I apologize that you are going through this experience. Extending some empathy and putting yourself in the client's shoes is a big way to avoid any further issues. So communication is number one. It's number one in life. It's number one in business. It's number one in everything you do. So with communication, there's also honesty. There's also transparency. What are you telling your clients? Are you being honest with them? Are you telling them what you think they want to hear? Because you're just creating a weird and unprofessional experience for people. Do you want people to come back to you, or do you want them to use you one time or buy from you one time? So what exactly are you looking to get out of this? So you need to be transparent and you need to be honest. I'm learning that stuff too. I'm learning transparency too. So I feel like, I'm learning all the time. It's always a learning lesson, especially in business. Real successful business owners are always learning and always trying to improve themselves. So I feel like I'm one of them. So I've learned transparency is probably the best policy because you know everything from the jump and there's no surprises later on. You can't get angry with me later on because you knew everything up front type of thing. So with communication, with honesty, with transparency, now we get into the actual logistics of a business. With your business, whether it's product or service, you have to have some type of organization. You have to prioritize, and we'll go into prioritizing and time management at the same time. Because all of those three things are super important to your business. How can you be all over the place? How can there be more than one person taking lead? How can you get any results if you don't have proper structure? So I often extend people that advice. I often extend that advice because if you're not organized, if you don't prioritize what needs to be done based on deadlines, based on your goals, and if you don't manage your time properly, you're not going to have the results that you're looking for. You're not going to have the same outcome as someone else who took the time to put all of these things in line and then decided to do what they needed to do after that. So organizing your business, having a structure, wait to post things. People want to rush and do things with poor quality. Another thing is quality. You know, business is not just a one type of thing. Business is like a multiple thing. You can't just start a business and then have a service or a product and think people will buy from you. Well, no, because then you get into marketing. Then you get into your pricing. Then you get into what your actual service or product is, you know. When I got my marketing degree, it's a business degree specialized in marketing. That's what my bachelor's is. And I took those extra marketing classes to honestly understand what marketing was, because it's not just social media. A lot of people believe that. They believe, oh, you're a marketer, you just post on social media, you just post on Instagram and Facebook. No, the fuck I don't. Yes, I do, but no, I don't, because you don't see the background stuff that's happening. Where's the licensing? Where is the logistics? Where is the proper paperwork for your business? Is it a registered business in Florida? Are you on Sunbiz? Do you have a bank account with an EIN? Are you allowed to even take in money? Because I also do taxes, so, you know, it's all hand in hand when I work with these business owners with taxes who are legit and who aren't legit. So you can tell who took time to put work behind the business before they put it up front in people's eyes. So, you know, a lot of people, I try to help them, you know, and I may not be someone people want to listen to. I may not have as much experience as the next person, so my words don't mean anything. But I'm coming from what I've seen, from what I've learned, from where I want to be as a business person. I'm extending what I know to somebody else. And I hope people don't take that lightly, because I'm not wasting my time doing this. I genuinely want to help and give advice. But when you do, okay, so with business, you know, comes that branch of marketing. In marketing, I talked about events before in the Caribbean community, but not just events in general, in the general public, no culture behind anything. From what I've seen is a lot of pre-planning and a lot of organizing. A lot of these people think that they can just throw an event together, whether you're Caribbean or not. And, you know, if you don't have the proper structures in place, when things hit the fan, you're not safe. And it can get into legal stuff. And I don't think people realize that, you know. If you have a nonprofit organization, I feel like you need to have directors and officers insurance. Directors and officers insurance, D&O, for the organization. What that does is that protects you and everybody in your organization from the dealings and all of the things you're saying while you're trying to recruit and you're trying to do things for the organization. This protects you. This protects you more than event insurance or having liability insurance. It's more than that. And if people would take the time to research just a little bit and look into what things are, you would see how necessary things are. You know, I don't like to go to Facebook and say my thoughts and my opinions, because people often shut me down and feel like I don't know what I'm saying. So I really don't like to do anything. But recently I came out and I needed to defend my husband, because we recently went to an event, and the event on surface level, it seemed great. I didn't stay long enough for all the issues that happened after, except the beginning issues when people weren't being allowed back in, or being allowed in at all. I mean, I was locked in my car for an hour because people didn't know how to park the car, so you couldn't get in or get out. It was a hostile situation. If you were working the event, you didn't see that. You're working the event. You're on the booths. You're walking around doing whatever you need to do. You don't know what the actual patrons and the people that paid to be there, because I paid to be there. I was supposed to be on a list and I wasn't on a list, so I had to pay to be there, which is okay, because I make money, so I'm not doing this for freebies. I would have paid regardless if I was told my name was on a list or not. But I feel like lack of organization, lack of listening. Within that organization, there was a lot of issues. There's conflict. How do you have problems with the leader? How do you have problems with the director? How does the director have problems with everyone else? Like, where is the structure? I think any business is successful if its staff and if its players are not getting along. Where is the unity? Especially in a nonprofit organization, I think that those are more for the community, and they're more meant to do, they're more for the community. Like, what are you looking for out of these nonprofits? They're not going to generate income and wealth like you want it to. This has to be something that you're passionate about and you want it to do well. You lead on money, you're going to lose money. And I've seen that, hands on. Now, with business and doing these marketing events and doing all this stuff, it's unfortunate that, everybody nowadays thinks that they can do an event. And I don't say this being arrogantly, and I don't say this being like, oh, I'm the best promoter in the world, or I know how to do events, because there's clearly more people in this city that does it better than I do, and who have been doing it for a very long time. But I watch those people. I pay attention to their parties. I mean, as a person who does marketing and I like to provide feedback, I give credit where credit's due. There's certain people in this town that don't ever have these issues, But then there's some people who do. I mean, not everybody can be happy. But it's like, how do you handle those situations when things do come about? So when it came to doing events for myself, I did one back in December of 2024. And it was on a smaller scale, but we had a great turnout. I had a great experience doing that, and it was great feedback. However, nobody knows, and I will say this now, that we could have did better. It was a short notice event. I only coordinated that within maybe two months. The community really rallied behind me and supported me on this venture that I was doing, and it was an event to generate more tax clients. So my goal wasn't to make money. My goal was to have businesses and network. It was a true networking event. I had performers, people in the community who are a part of dance companies come and showcase themselves, so they can potentially generate more income. They can get booked more. That's the whole goal and the whole purpose. So I don't understand, when people want to do this I just don't understand. Like, some people do it for money, some people don't. And I feel like the ones that are really successful do it with pure intention. There's no, I don't want to trash talk this group. I really don't. Like, I like some of the people in it, but the shit that they're doing is like, it's an eye-opener, and it's like, damn, do I even want to do business with them again? It's really like eye-catching. But when I had the opportunity to give them my feedback and give them some advice, it was like taken with a grain of salt, and I didn't appreciate that. I don't like to sit there and gossip about people, so the fact that you're gossiping about people is what's the goal? Like, are you trying to do stuff for the business, the organization, or is this a popularity contest and you're just looking for people to fucking make you famous? I don't understand the fucking goal. I didn't then, and I still don't now. Even from the leader of the organization, the one who's throwing the money, I don't understand what the intention is. His comment was, that this happens at any event. This is normal. This is not normal. For guns to be drawn at an event, we are not New York. New York has these issues. They are known to have this. They just had a Caribbean Day or something in New York, and the fights broke out. That's just what happens. In Orlando, Florida, we're trying to create unity. There's already a division. There's already people who think they're better than people, who think they know more than people. Where is the unity? I feel like everything's for show nowadays. Everything is just a post on social media to say you did this, you got this, you did this. Come on. I don't think I'm wrong. My husband was not wrong. We were not wrong on our discussion of our feedback of the event that we brought our son to. And I don't bring Nathan often to places. So the fact that I brought him to a family-friendly event, that says a lot. And it's concerning in a way. But people need to understand that we're coming from a genuine place, and we know what we know, because of who we talk to and who decides to tell us their business. So don't let me tell you this now. Don't attack us and don't come for us on social media. If you have something to say, please say it. Please do not sub me on social media. Call me and have a conversation about it, because I guarantee you we know something about you that you don't want on social media. So just like how people say, oh, come test me if you want, I'm more fire, I'm this, I'm that. Bro, same way. It goes both ways. If you fire, I'm fire too. If you want to be calm, I'll be calm. I'll match the energy. That's what we can do. But the fact that I knew firsthand what was going on with this group, and it's like watching things from inception and watching things play out and knowing that you were right. Like, it's an I told you so moment. This was an I told you so moment. I told them multiple times about stuff, and stuff never changed, or nothing ever happened, or stuff happened and it changed, or everybody's blaming everybody. Literally everybody's blaming everybody. One's pointing at one, one's pointing at one, one's pointing at one. And, you know, they didn't have to get to this point. There was a lack of communication, a lack of transparency, and a lack of honesty between this stuff that I've seen, this organization and this event that I've seen. Because these people that were involved have the rep of doing decent events and have a rep of being in the community for a very long time. So I don't understand why they doing amateur shit. You know, acting like brand new. You know why? Because it was rushed. If you do an event, we're talking in July. They wanted to do the event in August. Now they're doing it they did it in September. And then they're doing another event in October. You're trying to do 2 events back to back, and we were only talking since July? Where do you have the time? July, August, September? That's 3 months. You know? I don't understand where people are like coming from. And I told them that. I said, why don't you just focus on that one event in December and make it a really great event?